part of the mission at Health Exchange, at least as a sort of side effect. Is that to sort of change the way we think about health data ownership and access?
Yeah, a bit of both, actually. So we're trying to do two things at Health Exchange. We see the future of medicine really being data driven. There's a lot of money in it. And the reason why pharma's putting in money is that they think they're going to get more money on the back end, right? When they actually develop these drugs. We think that patients should be cut in, right? It's our data. It's our patients' data. There's no reason why they shouldn't participate in the financial upside that they help create, right? Like, so if I donate my data and based on my data, you created a new drug, well, I don't own that drug. You still did all the, work for it, all the research. I don't have any scientific expertise, but it seems fair that you should get some sort of compensation, right? Even if it's minor, it feels like it just feels fair. And at the end of the day, even if you look at US laws, it clearly states that patients do own their health data. If you ask anyone in a healthcare setting, they'll say that patients own their data. They're not going to say a pharma company owns my data or a hospital owns my data. It's I own my healthcare data. And so, yeah, that is like one of our sort of key tenets to even creating Health Exchange in the first place. But the other part is that, this data collection, it's going to happen. It's just the way it's going to work because that's how medicine is going to occur in the future. It's going to be more personalized and based on your information about your unique body rather than this sort of randomized, sort of risk adjusted approach to medicine. And so with Health Exchange, we found an opportunity where, we can fairly and ethically pay people and bring them along for the ride and clue them in onto what's happening while creating something that's like a product that's differentiated and something that we think can really help shape the future of medicine. So it's a bit of both, I guess, to answer your question.
Okay. So maybe could you explain just a little bit more about Health Exchange? Maybe just how is it? How is the model different? Because we just talked about obviously like data ownership and who owns that, and do they have the right to be compensated for the money that's made from their data? So what is Health Exchange kind of doing in order to sort of combat that, or yeah, like what is Health Exchange solving for? How is it doing it?
Yeah, so we're doing a few things for that actually. So right now we're still in development. We haven't launched yet, but the first thing we're going to put out is a solution. Unfortunately, this is US only because the US has the data infrastructure for a patient to actually request and retrieve their own records in like a very cheap and effective way. However, our first product that we're going to put out it's going to be a free to use product for anyone who's living in the United States. It's a few like identifying information to figure out like who you are and you are who you say you are. And then based on that information, it puts all your health data from any hospital you've been to in one location, right? And it's free to use. We don't use that data. We don't like look at that data. It's just for essentially it's for our patients to quickly access their data from anywhere. And that's actually kind of an issue because right now in the United States, in some places, like data still gets faxed to you. That's quickly changing. But we think there needs to be like easier access for the average consumer to just look at all their healthcare data in one place. Once we have that sort of created, then we're going to start essentially like an open beta where people can share their health data with us, and in return, we'll credit them some points on the platform. But the end goal is that we'll actually create a token. It'll likely be a security, but essentially it has a hard cap and of about 1 billion tokens right now. We're still designing the tokenomics, and we're still open to feedback as well. But the idea is we distribute tokens to people sharing data with us, and we incentivize different types of data sets. So not just your clinical records, but if you have genetics or some sort of protein markers, like Fitbit activity, like any sort of health data, will compensate you in our token. And the idea is we build a large data set of a bunch of people. Obviously, any data you give us, we will scrub and anonymize in the same way as the industry does. Except when we go make partnerships with pharmaceutical companies, or we create devices, or potentially we start, working in clinical trials and try to create our own drugs, a portion of that money will be sort of put aside for our token holders and our users, right? So you can think of us as almost like a pharma cooperative, right? It's a co-op in the sense that all our users get together and provide their data, and that's like the differentiated offering that we provide to pharma companies, to institutions. And so we'll go to a pharma company and say, hey, we have, 50,000, 500,000 patients on our platform. We know you guys are running clinical trials, for example, and you want to recruit patients with, let's say psoriasis or eczema or, signals of depression, maybe to try a new sort of therapy. We have patients on our platform, pay us, and, we'll advertise your clinical trials. Our patients can get on the clinical trials and, get access to the latest medication. We get paid from the pharma company, so we can operate, and we take some of that payment and also distribute it to our users. So we're trying to create in the short term, and this is in the next 3 to 4 years, we're trying to create a platform where someone can go in and essentially get paid for the healthcare data, and then see if they can participate in clinical trials or other sort of research initiatives that pharma does. In the future, more in the 5 to 10 year range, we actually think we could potentially start creating and deploying AI on our platform. And so the way that would look like is, like I was saying earlier, with all this data, it's possible to create early diagnosis algorithms. And you don't need a blood test, you don't need anything. You probably just need to click a button, and it'll sort of scan all your data and then predict whether you're going to have a health event in the next 1 to 2 years. And so by joining our platform, the idea is you get paid, you get potentially offers for clinical trials, and you get this additional health value where your data is being scanned constantly, and it'll the machine will let you know if you're at high risk for something. And so if you're at high risk for something, you can go to the doctor, tell them you have this risk score, maybe give you a reason why. And that would change sort of the care algorithm or the way care is provided to a person, make it much more tailored, highlight who's at high risk for developing what, and hopefully catch some disease early.
Unchecked governments have eradicated privacy and truth. Those who resist are brought down swiftly, but we refuse to submit. Unipunks are freedom fighters, protected by encrypted shadows. The future we're building is sovereign and uncensorable. The moonlit night is coming.